a sequel to Top Gun, decades after the iconic first film came out, that since release has always been split by critics, and today the sequel might even be better than the original. I mean, it looked good from the trailers. I totally wanted to go see it, but I mean, to be as good as it was is amazing and impressive, and honestly somewhat inspiring how in the right hands any story can work if it knows what to focus on and how to do it right, which is definitely the case with this movie. In terms of what I think of the original movie from 1986, I like that movie fine. My father might have seen it 10 times since it came out, but I have only seen it once, which I did for the first time this year. Which I watched on Netflix since we were watching The Bubble for like 37 minutes before we stopped. And when I noticed Top Gun was on Netflix, we watched that instead. And it was the right choice because I at least liked Top Gun more. It was a decent film made for entertainment with a basic story of a hotshot young man who has big potential and has helped along the way for people to bring the best out of him to achieve greatness. Which in this case is as a naval aviator. You know, it could be a different occupation in other movies, but you know what I'm talking about. I mean, it's Top Gun. Which the scenes with the planes are still cool to this day, and while the characters were pretty basic, they were still enjoyable with a great cast, especially with Tom Cruise in the lead. Among the iconic lines and imagery, it was a clear winner for that movie in the 80s to make $357 million at the box office against a $15 million budget. This new movie has over 800 hours of footage and has a budget of $170 million. Oh, how times have changed. I guess, for better or worse, I don't know. Anyways, after watching it though, I did see the potential this could have with a sequel. And this movie really makes it soar high. Written by Aaron Kruger, Eric Warren Singer, and Christopher McQuarrie, and directed by Joseph Kozinski, who has made other films, his debut being another decades later sequel, Tron Legacy. I haven't seen the Tron movie, so I don't know if those are good or bad. And with Tom Cruise once again as Pete Maverick Mitchell in the lead, what do we get here? Anyway, I hope I had this review out sooner, because there was like an advanced screening on Tuesday at the theater, but I didn't get tickets in time. But I was there for a different movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, yesterday's review. Depending on how I release this. And I was able to get this poster still of the movie. I know, cool, right? This is what gets me excited. I need to have new hobbies. So, let's get back to talking about the movie. Well, it's been decades since we last saw Pete Maverick Mitchell, played by Tom Cruise. And the opening scene with him perfectly sums up his character if you haven't seen the first film. Honestly, you could follow this movie without even seeing the first film. And I've seen some ads just refer to this movie as Top Gun 2. Anyways, so Maverick is still flying planes, and in fact he's a test pilot for the Navy where he puts his own career in jeopardy again in order to help out others, not caring about the consequences of his own choices. In fact, he has put aside any chance for his military career to do what he loves, fly, because he has that need for speed. Yeah, I know, I'm terrible. Anyways, after another screw-up, Maverick is given one last chance to stay with the Navy, to teach the best of the best from the Top Gun academies for an urgent mission where he'll have to train and choose the best of those best, even to go to an enemy base and bomb a uranium enrichment facility. But the terrain given means they'll need the best of the best to pull it off, because reasons. Too bad for Maverick, though. One of those best of the best, the last time I'll say this, is his passed on best friend's son, Bradley Rooster Bradshaw, played by Miles Teller, as the two have personal issues to work out. But Maverick takes on the job as he heads back to the place he trained a long time ago and sees how much he's let time pass as he runs into a former girlfriend of his named Penny, played by Jennifer Connelly, who makes him realize he needs to figure out what he's really best for everyone, others, and himself. As he finally has to face his past mistakes and regrets to make sure that what time in the present he can to fix what's broken, he has to make sure his pilots can pull off their mission with so little time itself to train for. Is this a mission for Maverick too great to pull off, or can he truly pull off the impossible? This movie is near perfect. I was just shocked from beginning to end how almost perfect this movie was. Given that it probably didn't even need to exist, at least at the time it did come out. But this movie shows there was a story people behind the camera wanted to tell, and it feels important and necessary to really show how some people change over time and some people stay the same, as the world itself does. What makes this movie work is that they turn Tom Cruise's basic hotshot character from the first film into a really complex character. I feel like I know inside out by the end what this character is. Maverick is someone who tries to put others before himself, but sometimes his ego or doubt might ruin his chances for other great things given to him. He knows how to enjoy the moment and not let things get to him, but that doesn't mean he can't realize there isn't as much time as he does have to do what he should, clearly afraid of screwing up things for other people, regardless of what it does to him, and what it means for him to do what he loves, and struggling to give it up altogether, or, struggling to give it up for others. And yes, so I know some people are split on Tom Cruise in real life for, reasons, but I do think he's a really good actor, albeit one of those actors where, despite a great performance, you still don't see a character, you see Tom Cruise. But as much as praise can be given for all his some work over the years, he reminds you that Tom Cruise can be a great dramatic actor. I really wish he did drama still. I love him in action movies, but he can act, and he honestly became this character to me. I didn't see Tom Cruise, I saw this complex character on screen. So much so, I honestly wish he could get an Oscar nomination, but that won't happen. But maybe Val Kilmer will. That's right, Val Kilmer reprises his role as Iceman from the original 2. And yes, they do implement Kilmer's real-life struggles into the character. It doesn't feel like they brought him back because he was just from the first movie. There's an important scene in the story where once he and Maverick meet up again, it's a tear-jerking scene with these two. Seeing good friends again over the years and easily seeing how Kilmer's character's life compares to Mitchell. And I want to make it clear that for as much as I said, Cruise's character has struggles, it's not annoying to watch. It's an intriguing drama where he's not bitter or upset or anything. No, he's still the same person. I mean, he's changed too, but you'll see if you watch it. Because look, that doesn't mean he doesn't still feel what emotions these scenes should make a person feel. He's human. And this scene with Kilmer makes you realize what time really does to a person. I even love all the new characters, like Jennifer Connelly has great chemistry with Cruise. I easily believed that Maverick and Penny did have a real relationship and true respect for each other. It does a really good job showing with the other pilots how Maverick, despite his flaws, is the best of the best. You understand why others would still support him for his mistakes, and with him teaching this class, you really do see how much he is a better, mature person since the first film. I love the characters of the new pilots. Like I said, there's Rooster, there's Phoenix, played by Monica Barbaro, or is it pronounced Barbaro? Yeah, it makes more sense. Phoenix is played by Monica Barbaro. I'm gonna move on. Oh, and there was Hangman, played by Glenn Powell, and so forth. And these people have great chemistry. They feel like they are friends. Like, it is believable these people have been friends or rivals for years and stuff like that. But no one hates each other. They do what they do great, and that's contributed by everything else on the screen. When there are scenes in the air and people are flying planes, I wouldn't say it's like flying the plane yourself. It's more like you understand how difficult this must actually be to fly. Like, it shows how stressful it would be to fly an actual jet, where I believe these are the best pilots, but flying Navy aircraft isn't easy. I didn't think it would be easy, obviously, in real life or in a movie, because, flying is hard. I can't just get on a plane and fly. The point is, what I'm saying is that there are scenes in the movie where I wasn't sure if someone would die or not, because unlike most movies where I can tell if a person would live or die, there are scenes where I didn't know if these young pilots would die, and it's stressful and heart-pounding. There are scenes where I didn't know if these young pilots would die, and it's stressful and heart-pounding, but you also get the idea how thrilling it would be to be a pilot in the movie. It's a great balance. And Maverick shows he might not know everything to teach these people, but he knows how to get these people to understand how dangerous this mission is and how important it is to get along. The characters are complex for the most part. I mean, obviously Maverick is the most complex out of the characters in the film. It is his journey and story, after all. It's just more apparent by the end of the movie. I will say, before the climax of the film, I had no problem with the movie. I was shocked how expertly paced, acted, shot. Moments of silence with moments of clever writing were balanced, but during the climax, one scene takes away the film from honestly being perfect. At least I think it would be. Okay, I won't spoil it, but during the whole movie, they kept talking about, or foreshadowing, a certain thing that could happen in the climax. And it feels like they were gonna originally, but the scene was rewritten, and then we kind of have a different way the movie goes on with the story that, for another 10 to 20 minutes, I wasn't hating the movie after that point, but it becomes more obvious of its cliches or other problems where it could have cut out the last 10 to 20 minutes and rewrote it. But you know what? I don't care, okay? I enjoyed it, okay? It was pretty predictable what would happen from that point on, and kind of pointless when it feels like the ending was meant to be something else. But regardless, I still enjoyed the movie from beginning to end. The movie is spectacular, worth seeing on the big screen, and deserves more respect and love than it will probably be given. I understand people who would enjoy this movie fine, like Everything Everywhere All at Once, where I understand those who don't love it as much as others, but I don't think anyone hates it, or at least doesn't respect what good does come out of it. This movie is an interesting drama with thrilling scenes in here that leaves the story at times unclear what could happen, or what's gonna at all, with a character at the center realizing what time itself does for the world he lives in, and there is himself. It is a gorgeous movie. It's thrilling. It's exhilarating. This is a great film. I love this movie. It's a near perfect film, and that move within itself is hard to pull off. But it looks like this movie did the impossible. I give Top Gun Maverick a 9 out of 10.